This video is going to contain what some people might consider to be spoilers, so if you don't want to see what fleet carrier interiors are going to look like in the future, then you might want to close the video right now. For everyone else, do stick around because there is a way to sneak inside the fleet carriers and check out their interiors. So, Update 9 dropped today, and the highlight for that of course is the brand new SRV. Apparently, also included with Update 9 is some fleet carrier interiors. Currently, there's no way to officially get inside of these fleet carriers, and of course you can't see them from the outside, but there is a way to sneak inside. I'll show you that slightly further into the video. For now, let's take a peek at what the interiors actually look like. So this appears to be the bridge. In fact, you actually enter the area through the bridge, through the windows at the front there. It does look very much like the type of area you'll see on some of the other space stations, some of the megaships in fact, with the exception we've got what seems to be the command deck here, command area. So down the front, two command panels. We got the perhaps navigation and perhaps communications. Not quite sure what they are, but they definitely seem to have some sort of controls there. And another panel here. Now, I guess these won't turn out to be interactable, but you never really know. It's possible, I guess. Maybe there will be some functionality here for people to sit down at and use them, but I'd guess probably not. Up here, I'd guess, is the captain's seat as well, the commander's seat, the commander of the fleet carrier. Now, I would say it's very important at this point to keep in mind that this is a very early look at the fleet carriers. Obviously, we're not meant to be in here at this point. We're not meant to be able to get outside. The exterior windows are completely shielded. Technically, there's no way to get in here. The only way we can get in is thanks to the new external cam, which allows us to clip through objects without getting the whole image blurred out. So as I say, very important to keep in mind at this point that this is early content, highly likely subject to change. Obviously, being in the external cam, we can't interact with anything at all here. Essentially then, it's just an early look at how things may appear once fleet carrier interiors launch. Around here then appears to be a ready room or some sort of meeting room. Very nice view actually there, especially if you're parked up near some type of great space object. The star there, black hole, would look very nice as well, wouldn't it? Or a beautiful nebula. Maybe even some Lagrange clouds as well. Now there are some lifts dotted around. These we can't use. We can't even clip into them with the camera. The camera sort of butts up against them and won't progress any further. Now one thing we do know, based on information that Frontier have spoken about in the past, is that fleet carrier interiors will, to some extent at least, be customizable. They will expand and contract based on the types of facilities that we add on here. So as we add ship services, for example, there may be another component on here that would reflect the addition of that particular module. Frontier have also hinted that there's going to be new modules that can be installed on fleet carriers that will arrive with the fleet carrier interior update. So as we walk around some of the fleet carrier here, it becomes very apparent that Frontier are reusing assets that are found on space stations, outposts as well as megaships. That's not a bad thing by any means. It just means that some of the areas here are certainly going to look quite familiar to other areas. But you know what? This is our very own interior on the ship that we own, so that is certainly a nice touch. Another thing you'll no doubt have noticed is some of the areas are very, very dark. Obviously, because they're not correctly illuminated. I guess we'd need to actually be physically on board the ship for that to happen. So some of the areas very, very dark just means we can't fully see some of the things that are in here. I'm not going to go poking around too deeply. And there we can see a console that will be interactable, no doubt. There's also another area we can get into. This door is closed off, but you can clip through that. And in here we can see, well, we can see the ship console. And over to the right is a window. Now this is blacked out. I have seen what's in there via other people's videos on YouTube, but I'm not going to reveal that on this particular video. If you do want to check that out, do go have a look for that yourself. And it does seem that this is light, that's somewhat different lighting, depending on how and when those people have actually got into this particular region. So yeah, there we go. Nice reflection in the glass anyway, kind of hiding what's down there. Now, if you want to get into the interiors yourself, you need to be docked on board your megaship, and you can go into the external cam. And by the way, at this point, a big shout out to TheKnightArch on YouTube for putting a video up about this a little bit earlier on in the day. So that's linked below in case you want a slightly different perspective on a fleet carrier interior. Anyway, once in the external cam, you want to head to the bridge for the mega ship. Now it seems there's some shielding of some type here, metal panels, and when you're behind them, when you clip through them, you can see there's actually windows there. And this is where things get a little bit tricky. Right in the corner here, there is a seam that the external camera can clip through, but you have to kind of mess around a bit, follow the seam down there, right in the corner here. And any moment now, and there you go, you can kind of clip in there. It took me a few attempts to figure that out, but basically that's how you get inside if you do want to have a look. And yet, do keep in mind, as I mentioned earlier, this is no doubt not the final appearance of how these are going to look, but a bit of a sneaky look anyway. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.